Tigers baseball on Fox Sports Detroit is presented by Bell Tire. Tonight, the Tigers catch another glimpse of their future. Young left-hander Matt Boyd will make his major league debut as a Tiger tonight, and Boyd will try and get the Tigers on a winning track here. It is Game 2 in this series featuring the Tigers and the visiting Kansas City Royals. Hi again, everyone, and welcome to Tigers Baseball. Mario and Peppa alongside Rod Allen. Glad to have you with us for Game 2 in the series. And for Matt Boyd, Rod, I'm sure a few butterflies going into this one tonight.
No doubt about that, but everybody that I've talked to, they said that Matt Boyd is ready to make this start here tonight for the Tigers. As a matter of fact, of the 5 pitchers the Tigers got at the deadline, he is probably the most big league ready. He has nothing else to prove in the minor leagues. Hopefully he goes out tonight and that changeup is a really good pitch for him. That's his best pitch.
Speaking of big league ready, how about Johnny Cueto? He'll take the mound for the Kansas City Royals tonight. Their biggest acquisition at the trading deadline, and, well, they're expecting big things from him.
And why not? Since 2011, no right-hander in our game has a better earned run average than Cueto. He's got some deception in his delivery, which makes him very different from any pitcher the Tigers have ever seen. He calls that his rocking chair delivery. He will also quick pitch you, so you better be ready to hit in that very first inning because he will quick pitch you. Then he's got 96 upstairs with the four-seam fastball, and the change piece is a legitimate one. He likes to throw it to the left-handers and to the right-handers. The Tigers saw him earlier this year in Cincinnati, but it was a rain-shortened game, but he was pretty good until the Miguel Cabrera home run.
And he also has the best sideburns in all of baseball, too. Stay with us. Game 2 of the series coming up after a short break. Trevor Thompson coming up with the Tigers trying to square the series this evening. Game 2, Tigers-Royals next. Tigers debut. He is presented by Family Heating, Cooling, and Electrical.
Well, really nothing more to prove for Boyd down in the minor leagues in a couple of different stops in AA and AAA. Combined 9-2 with a 1.65 earned run average. Fastball 90 to 93 miles an hour. He's got some outstanding deception in his delivery. He hides the baseball well and has a plus changeup.
So Boyd will make his first Tigers start here this afternoon as the Tigers try and bounce back from last night's loss. Another nice night for baseball here in the Motor City. A little bit more breezy tonight. And Boyd goes to the hill facing Alcides Escobar, who will start things off for the Royals. Kansas City at 63-42. The Tigers at 51-55. Here we go. The first pitch tonight is outside. 1 ball, no strikes on Escobar. Alcides batting .276, a couple of home runs this year, was 0 for 4 in last night's opener. The 1-0 was swung on and missed. 1-1. Boyd is 24 years old, born in Seattle, Washington, 6'3", 215. Played his college ball at Oregon State. One is fouled back out of play. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Escobar.
Very slow, deliberate delivery from Matt Boyd. He kicks that right leg up very slow, and then once he gets to his balance spot, he speeds up and gives you a fast arm. He's thrown a couple of fastballs at already 94 miles an hour.
Boyd has made a couple of starts in the major leagues this year against Texas and Boston. And now Kansas City tonight. Driven in the air towards center field. On the move is Ghost, still going back, and he'll make the play. 1 gone. Here's the rest of the lineup for KC, presented by the Metro Detroit Chevy dealers. Zobrist and Kane, along with Escobar, forming the top 3. Hosmer, Morales, and Moustakas, who has really struggled in his last 7 games. Perez, Rios, and Infante, your bottom 3. So Matt Boyd finding out quickly what it's like here to pitch at Comerica Park. Anything out to center field, you've got a chance to have it run down by Ghosts. Zobrist looks at a strike. 0-1. .272 batting average for Zobrist, who knocked in a run with a sac fly in the ball game last night. Right at the knees, a strike called. 0-2. James McCann calling the signals behind the plate tonight. Way outside. 1-2 the count on Zobrist. One of the 2 key acquisitions for the Royals at the trade deadline, along with tonight's starter Johnny Cueto. Ground ball left side, base hit. Zobrist has a 1-out single.
Let's take a look at the Tigers starting defenses presented by Beaumont Health System. Right to left, you've got Martinez, you've got Ghost, you've got Collins in left field. Castellanos, Iglesias, Kinsler, Marte in the infield. 61 double plays turned this year for Iglesias, which is 4th in the American League.
Here is Lorenzo Cain batting in the 3 spot here tonight. Not a whole lot going on last night for Cain. Was 0 for 5. And he looks at strike 1.
Lorenzo Cain has done some of his best work this year against left-handed pitching. He comes in with a .361 batting average against southpaws, which is good for 4th in the American League.
Last night his 7-game hitting streak came to an end. Cain shoots that one foul on the ground. 0-2.
It seems like ever since their manager Ned Yost took Lorenzo Cain from batting down in the batting order and put him 3rd the final month of the 2014 season, he's been a different player, a different offensive player. He's always been a good defender.
Here's the 0-2. Busted him inside. 1-2.
We will see quite a bit of that today for Boyd. He stands on the third base side of the pitching rubber, and that allows him as a left-hander to get his fastball way inside against some of these right-handers, and it also gives him a lot of nice deception when he fades the changeup down and away from the righties. Should see the changeup here.
checked it, and he did not go, says Mike Winters down at first base.
By throwing from the third base side of the pitching rubber, once he gets to the arm slot, you can see the ball just kind of fades away from the right-handed batter. That one faded too far off of the plate, though.
Kane clearly held up, but not by much. 2-2 the count on Lorenzo Cain.
Here's what his delivery looks like. And we told you he's very deliberate with the right leg, kicking it up. But once he gets to this point right here, everything just kind of speeds up, and he gives you a fast arm.
Cain checked it again and then missed. That'll fill the count now, 3-2. Cain already this year has a career high with 68 runs scored. And many people have put him in the conversation for MVP this year. He's done a lot offensively and defensively. He will also steal you a base. He has 19 this year. Runner goes on 3-2, swing and a miss. McCann's throw, the tag. He is out at second base. James McCann fires a bullet. And a strike him out, throw him out. No runs, one hit, nobody left. So McCann comes out early tonight. Go to the bottom of the first inning here. The Tigers starting lineup presented by the Southeast Michigan Ford dealers. It'll be Ghosts, Iglesias, and Kinsler in your top three spots. Last 6 games, well, Iglesias awfully good. Martinez, Castellanos, Tyler Collins the starting left, and Martin McCann round out the Detroit lineup. And they are facing the tough right-hander Johnny Cueto.
Well, the Kansas City Royals were able to acquire themselves a legitimate ace just a week ago or so. In 20 starts this year, Cueto checks in with a 2.70 ERA. He's got a fastball that gets up to 96 miles an hour. He also has a plus changeup. He's got a slider, and he also has a curveball. So he has all 4 of the pitches.
Cueto, 29 years old. San Pedro de Macorís, his hometown. Popped him up foul. This will get toward the seats third base side, and it's going to be caught. Wow, how about that? Moustakas coming over to the railing. Ghost is out of there.
One of the things we talked about regarding Cueto, you better be ready to hit in that batter's box. Look how he quick pitches Anthony Ghost right here. And now Ghost is not really ready to jump on that fastball, and he's tardy on it. He pops it straight up, and Moustakas goes over and makes a fine play.
Fighting the railing, and Moustakas won that battle. We'll bring up Jose Iglesias.
They call him Moose in Kansas City.
317 for Iglesias. He was 1 for 4 last night.
It appears that Iglesias is starting to feel a whole lot more comfortable batting up in the lineup these days.
With the changes in the Tigers lineup for several reasons, obviously the trade of Cespedes, do you think that he's probably looking at his new spot for the last 2 months?
Absolutely. You may as well see if he could handle that role, see if he could hit behind one of the speedy guys when they get on base. That would be Anthony Gose or Rajai Davis, depending on who's leading off. And he really has driven the ball very well this year, Mario, the opposite way. So if the first baseman's holding on one of the base runners, that's a huge hole on the right side of the infield for Jose.
Oh, down he goes. Boy, Iglesias in pain right now. Where did that one catch him?
It looks like he swung the bat and has hit his hand. To me, I don't know for sure, but he's in pain like that ball hit him directly, even though he swung at it. Oh, maybe not.
Nope, I think we all know what happened. Yep, and Iglesias right now is in some major pain at home plate. So Cueto has gotten ahead 1-2 in a very painful manner for Iglesias.
We'll give you one quick look at it.
Ouch.
That's a direct hit.
Iggy's struggling right now just to catch his breath. Kevin Rand, the head athletic trainer, is out there to help Iglesias out along with Brad Ausmus.
Yeah, really, the only thing that they can do for Iglesias is hold his hand right now.
And wait. Now they'll help Iglesias to his feet. Tigers batting here in the first in a scoreless game, 1 out, nobody on. Iglesias trying to regroup.
And while we have a moment, let's set the Kansas City Royals starting defensive alignment. It is presented by Tim Hortons. In the outfield, they have Zobrist, Kane, and Rios. It's a very good outfield. Their catcher, Salvador Perez, 19 runners caught so far this season, which is tied for third most in the major leagues.
So Cueto continues to warm up. It looks like Iglesias can continue. Tigers last night of the ball game just could not get a whole lot going offensively. Danny Duffy was really good last night. The bullpen closed it out for the Royals. Here's the 1-2. And a ground ball just foul outside of the bag at third.
Really, overall, the Tigers this season have not been able to hit Royals pitching. Their starting pitching has been outstanding this year against Tigers bats, and you know how good that bullpen has been, and that's why the Royals have won more games so far this year against Detroit, and they've lost.
Jose continues to battle. He has the best average among shortstops in the American League, does Iglesias, 317. Xander Bogaerts is at 315 right behind him, the Red Sox shortstop. There's a chopper to the shortstop, Escobar. And a pick at first base by Hosmer, nicely done. 2 gone. That's why Hosmer is a Gold Glover.
Eric Hosmer also gives you a really big target over at first base. He's 6 feet 5 inches. He's got outstanding hands, and he has saved the left side of the infield a boatload of errors with plays just like that. This is not an easy pick, but yet Hosmer able to pick it clean.
So with 2 outs, here is Ian Kinsler. Ian was 0 for 3 last night. Sends a slow ground ball short. More of a routine play for Escobar. Kinsler is out. A 1-2-3 inning for Johnny Cueto. Goes out there for his second inning of work. How about three things you need to know about Matt Boyd? He was born in Bellevue, Washington, attended Oregon State, I should say. Favorite athlete? Well, this is no surprise. Ken Griffey Jr. And how about his favorite movies? The Sandlot and Bull Durham.
Those are two really good movies.
And a really good guy to look up to in Ken Griffey Jr. as far as his favorite athlete.
Jr. will go into the Hall of Fame next year. He's part of the 2016 class.
Hosmer is leading it off for the Royals. He hit a couple of balls last night were as hard hit as we've seen in a while.
He has been one of the hottest hitters in all of baseball. Last 22 games, Hosmer hitting at a .443 clip, and it really doesn't matter whether it's a left-hander or a right-hander.
He'll pull that one to right field, and it's going to be caught on the run by J.D. Martinez.
It's a nice job here by Boyd. He struck out Lorenzo Cain in the first with a really good changeup. Here's a breaking ball that he gets Hosmer out on that front foot early on, and then Hosmer has to reach for it with the long arms and the long bat, and he hits it right off the end of the bat. Harmless fly ball to right field.
Kendrys Morales with one out. They will employ the shift against Morales, switching to the left side of the infield. Ball one to Morales. Scored a run last night, had a base hit, finished 1 for 4 in the ball game. Big swing there by Kendrys. 1 ball, 1 strike.
There's some of the deception that we have been speaking of regarding Boyd and the fastball right around 92 that's upstairs. A lot of times as a hitter you think you could get to it, but he hides the baseball very well, and that fastball becomes very sneaky.
There's another wave and a miss.
A little concerned, though. A couple of pitches McCann has called for inside, just like that last delivery, but he's not been able to get it in. So he's going to have to work on getting that fastball inside when James calls for it. Here we go again.
Tomahawked in the air toward left field. Collins coming in, staring into the sunlight. And Morales is out, 2 away.
Apparently the way that they're going to pitch Morales here this evening is up in the strike zone. Every pitch that he got from Boyd was up in the strike zone.
So with 2 outs, here is Mike Moustakas. Moustakas at .283. 10 home runs this year. And he's frozen for strike one.
Talked to a number of scouts regarding Boyd after the Tigers were able to acquire him in the David Price deal, and they said of all the pitchers the Tigers were able to acquire, he was probably the most big league ready as far as all of his arsenal is concerned.
That ball hit well, and Ghost looking up against it. To the center field wall it goes. It'll be a 2-out double for Mike Moustakas.
And Boyd may be overthrowing here, at least in the first couple of innings. His fastball, I was told in his last outing, was 90 to 92 miles an hour. He's already thrown several fastballs at 94. And, of course, when you're overthrowing, that ball is going to straighten out, as that fastball did for Moustakas.
A lot of room out there in center. One hops the wall for Moustakas, a 2-base hit. That'll bring up Salvador Perez, who had a big night last night, the biggest night of any Royal. He was 3 for 4 with a homer and 3 RBIs. And Perez lets that one go by for strike one.
You have to make sure here, if you're Boyd and McCann, that if Perez does get a base hit, he's going to have to hit Boyd's pitch. You do have a base open. There's 2 outs, and even though the batting averages are similar between Rios and also Perez, Perez has better power numbers.
Slap the other way, but foul. 0-2. The Royals with 2 outs have a team average of 280, which leads Major League Baseball. So they have been a clutch team, and those 2-out runs can be so demoralizing for the other team. Now Boyd with the 0-2. Ball high, 1-2.
Yeah, that fastball up in the strike zone may be just the look and see pitch for Perez to get back to what is considered Boyd's best pitch, and that would be the changeup.
Missed away, and the count levels now 2-2. Boyd is 24 years old. And boy, was he tearing it up in the minor leagues. 9-2 with a 1.65 in 19 starts in the minors.
He was making it look easy, wasn't he?
Boy, sure was. Those numbers indicate that. Pulled on the ground at third, and Castellanos has it there. And Perez is out. That'll take care of the side. Nothing comes of a 2-out double by Moustakas. It's brought to you by Comerica Bank. Raise your expectations of what a bank can be when it's time. Come to Comerica. Ram Trucks, find your summer of fun with great deals at the Ram Summer Clearance Events. And by Dean's Country Fresh Ice Cream. Get real. Nice night for ball here at Comerica Park. The Royals in town for game 2 in this 3-game series. And so far so good for the lefty Matt Boyd, who has pitched 2 scoreless innings for the Tigers. Now Johnny Cueto back to work, and he'll face Victor Martinez, J.D. Martinez, Nick Castellanos. Victor takes ball 1 outside. Martinez had an RBI in the ball game last night, was 1 for 4. But by and large, it's been a slow go for Victor in the month of August, just 1 for 12. Got himself ahead in the count here. 2 balls, no strikes. And Cueto delivers a strike.
And a little get me over breaking ball there, thrown at 86 miles an hour in the predictable fastball count for Victor.
That'll float in for strike 2.
Everything off speed so far to Victor.
Bouncing ball pulled to the right side and right into the shift, and Fonte is there. 1 out. We'll bring up J.D. Martinez, which brings us to the Bernstein advantage. And Martinez's career against the Royals, pretty good numbers here, 339 and some long balls as well.
Yeah, his contact to damage ratio simply off the chain. 17 runs, 6 homers as well.
J.D. looks at ball 1.
Cueto is tough to pick up. I mean, just about every single pitch to Martinez, that would be Victor, was a quick pitch. The first pitch to J.D. Martinez was a quick pitch. And now he gives you the rocking chair delivery. It's very hard for a guy to repeat his delivery. One of the things that pitching coaches always talk about with their starting pitchers, you have to be able to repeat your delivery. How in the world can you repeat your delivery when you have multiple deliveries?
He's mastered it. Apparently he's mastered all of them.
There's nobody else like this guy in the big leagues right now.
And Moustakas will throw out Martinez. Well, we didn't get a chance to see him on a nightly basis when he was in the National League, but now with KC here, it's the second time the Tigers have seen Cueto this year.
He's got 96 with his fastball when he decides to let it go, but he just kind of gives you a changeup and a curveball and a slider, keeps you off balance. He knows how to pitch.
How would you rank Cueto among the acquisitions that were picked up at the deadline, and meaning Price and Hamels and Johnny?
Oh, he's in the same conversation. He is right up there with a David Price and a Cole Hamels. As a matter of fact, I probably put him behind Price. Price would be number 1, Cueto number 2, and I go Hamels 3.
I would go exactly the same way. Castellanos batting 243. Sails inside, fastball that time, 2-0. Cueto received a no decision in his only start against the Tigers this year. Went 5 1/3, 3 hits, 3 runs in that game that was delayed by rain, and he could not answer the bell. Neither could Price, who was his opponent that night. Here are the numbers. He threw 88 pitches in that game. It was a game eventually won in the 13th on the Todd Frazier grand slam walk-off. Bender that drops in 2-2.
He has been one of the best pitchers in our sport. Only Clayton Kershaw has been better as far as the ERA is concerned since the beginning of the 2011 season. Some real good names on that list. Grickey was on that list. Chris Sale was on that list.
Tyler Collins on deck. So far, Cueto has retired 5 in a row. Here's the 3-2. Pulled to the shortstop and caught on the backhand right before it hit the ground by Escobar. Another 1-2-3 inning for Cueto. Tigers baseball presented by Bell Tire. was May 8th through the 10th. The Tigers were a game and a half back of the Royals on May 10th, and here's where they've gone since then.
Well, just look at the pitching. You look at their team ERA and their bullpen earned run average. Then you look at the Tigers team ERA and the bullpen average, and that will tell you the entire story.
And Boyd goes back to work here in the third. And the first one is up and in to Alex Rios. Rios, then Infante, and then Escobar facing the Tiger lefty. Mile high fly ball. Shallow right field. Kinsler is under it. And one gone. Well, Ned Yost has his team 9.5 up on Minnesota. Chicago 12.5 back along with the Tigers. It has been all Royals this year in the Central Division.
Yeah, Tigers in very unfamiliar territory and sitting at 51 and 55.
Here's Omar Infante. Two out of four in the ball game last night. He had a two-base hit, did Infante, and that broke it home for 12 that he was in. In the air to center field. A lot of fly balls tonight by the Royals. This is an easy play for Ghost. Two gone. Time for a game break now. We check in with Mickey York. All right, Mick, thanks.
That is why it is such a risky pitch when you have a runner on third base and you have a pitcher that has a really good breaking ball, because you just never know whether the catcher will be able to block it or not. It's a risky pitch.
Here is Escobar.
It's a horrible way to lose a game.
Yeah, it really is. And the Angels needed that win because they were trailing Houston by 3 coming into play today.
Wasn't it just about 2 weeks ago the Angels were like 4 games up on Houston?
Yeah, then Houston went on a charge. And the Angels now find themselves in a wild card position. There's such a long way to go, though. You've got the rest of August and all of September.
And it can happen quickly.
That race in the West is the closest right now between the top 2 teams. A 3-game spread, or it was coming in. 1-1 on Alcides Escobar. 2 balls, 1 strike. So there's the wild card. And right now, as it stands, the Angels and Blue Jays. Escobar hammers another one in the air to straightaway center for Ghost. It's going to be 3 scoreless for Boyd in his Tigers debut tonight.
MGM Grand brings you the scouting report. How about pitches thrown 95 miles an hour and above for an entire pitching staff? The New York Mets have thrown the most. The Kansas City Royals, they check in with 2,398 pitches thrown at 95 miles an hour and above, and that's why they sit atop the American League Central. And those other teams that have power arms, that bully teams, they're all in playoff contention as well.
Tyler Collins leading it off and flaring one down the left field line. Fair ball. Here comes the throw to second. The tag. He's safe. A bloop double down the left field line for Tyler Collins. Tigers have their first hit. Taking a look at this, but I think he got his foot in there.
And Don Wakamatsu, the bench coach for Ned Yost, says no, he was safe. It's a good thing that Collins was running, or else he would have been thrown out by Zobrist, who plays everywhere, but he's got a good arm, he's a good defender, and he was just able to get in there above, in front of that tag by Infante.
Clearly in there. So Collins getting the start in left tonight in place of Rajay Davis, producing a double to start things off in the third. Here's Jeffrey Marte. Tigers had some issues last night getting some runs in with men in scoring position early. They had the bases loaded a couple of times, failed to score. He is bunting toward third. Foul, but it's going to roll fair. That's going to be a fair ball. Marte is going to be out. The runner will advance. That must have hit a rock or something.
That's why you always run. You just never know what it's going to hit, and if it does hit a rock, as you mentioned, it does happen to go back into fair territory. You don't want to be still standing in that batter's box.
And fortunately, Collins ran that thing out.
Marte thought that ball was going to be clearly foul. Looked like it hit the lip of the grass in foul territory and trickled back into fair territory.
Infield coming in now, and it's sliced and caught by the second baseman Infante as McCann tried to shoot one the other way and right into the glove of Infante. 2 gone.
And McCann jumping on the first fastball, didn't hit it very hard, therefore Infante had enough time to get over and get to it, even though he was playing in.
Now Anthony Gose. They'll relax the defense with 2 outs. Anthony hit a ball that appeared was going into the seats in the first inning, but it stayed fair just against the railing and it was caught by Moustakas.
Yeah, he was quick pitched on the second pitch that he saw in the pitch sequence from Johnny Cueto and just couldn't get to the fastball and popped it straight up.
Ball 1 to Gose. Gose has been much better this year in the leadoff spot. He bats .284 in the leadoff spot. Last night was batting 9th, but over the year only 127 at the bottom of the lineup. Big swing there, 1-1. In the air to center field. Kane is on the move. It's over his head. It'll go to the wall. Gose on the run. He's coming to third base, and he is in with a triple. Kane was playing shallow, and he paid for it.
Both of these center fielders have a lot of speed in center field. Both guys play very shallow, and when Gose was able to jump on this fastball from Johnny Cueto, not even with all the speed that Lorenzo Cain has, not able to run it down. Just missed it.
Big RBI for Gose, 1-0 Detroit, and he stands at third now for Iglesias. 5 triples on the year for Ghost. Early Tigers lead tonight. There's a strike called 1-1 on Iglesias. He grounded to short his first time, up 0 for 1. Bouncing ball to third. Fair ball deep behind the bag. Moustakas will throw him out. Inning over. Tigers get a run on the triple by Ghost. We'll go to the fourth.
Already tonight, James McCann's defense is showing up here. Real nice changeup thrown to Kane. He struck him out. Nice throw down to second base by McCann to nab Ben Zobrist, trying to steal a bag.
Well, Matt Boyd has a 1-0 lead now as we go to the fourth. Zobrist starting things off. Drives one in the air to right field. That's going to be playable for J.D. Martinez as Boyd continues to get fly ball after fly ball. And that's not a bad thing in this park if you hit him to center. It's 5 in a row retired by Boyd.
One of the things that we heard about Boyd, that in his deceptive delivery, hitters don't pick the ball up very well. And apparently by some of the swings Kansas City's taking here tonight, they're not picking it up because they're hitting a lot, as you mentioned, lazy fly balls into the outfield. 7 so far tonight.
Here's Lorenzo Cain. Ball 1 to Kane. His 7-game hitting streak ended last night by the Tigers. Lorenzo, really a remarkable story. Did not play organized baseball till his sophomore year of high school. And it was only by happenstance that he started to play baseball. He was cut from his basketball team. Mom wouldn't let him play football, so baseball was the other option. Outside, 3-0.
There's a lot of moms that will not let their kids play high school football. Just way too violent for a lot of moms and dads, for that matter.
Well, Kane says that had he not been cut from the basketball team, he probably never would have ever tried to play baseball. And here he is now, an all-star caliber player, an MVP candidate. And what a postseason he had last year. .30 is in for a strike. 3-1 on Kane. Boyd has allowed 2 hits, a single and a double. They came in different innings. Kane, another fly ball. This one into right center field. Ghost is cruising over. 2 gone. Well, it is time now for you to tweet your strongest fan photo. Use hashtag Detroit Data Strong Fan. You just might see yourself in an upcoming broadcast brought to you by T-Mobile. Two outs now for Hosmer. The Royals' really only big scoring chance came after a 2-out double by Moustakas. That was back in the second, but he got Perez to ground out. Here's how they play Hosmer defensively. 1 ball, 1 strike. Hosmer last year 12 RBIs in the postseason for the Royals, and that was a franchise record. The 12 driven in. Here's the 1-1. Drilled to center, base hit. 2-out single for KC.
Well, Kansas City Royals, they're in win now mode by acquiring Johnny Cueto at the trade deadline. They know that it's not going to be very long before guys like Hosmer, guys like Moustakas and Kane and Gordon touch the free agent market. And then you have to consider that Scott Boras is the agent for Moustakas and Hosmer, and they never give you any friendly deals.
Just a certain amount of time, a window for the Royals, and they certainly are in win now mode with the team they have put together. And Morales has been an interesting addition to their lineup. Really, when you look at who he replaced, Billy Butler, a guy that played, I don't know, a ton of games for them, nearly 1,200 games in the big leagues. It was kind of hard to part ways with Butler last year, but it's worked out. Drilled toward left center field. That ball is going to get down, split the gap, and go to the wall. Here comes Hosmer rounding third. He will come around to score. Morales will take the turn. He's going to try for 3. This might be a bad move. Nope, he's going to get there.
That is Morales' first triple of the year.
He just never stopped rumbling around second base. That is his 38th 2-out RBI, which leads the American League.
Yeah, real nice base hit by Hosmer up the middle, and then a changeup left up in the strike zone by Boyd. That's absolutely whistled into the left center field gap by Kendrys Morales.
Look at Kendrys rumbling. He made it quite easily, as it turned out. Now Moustakas will try and score him. Ball 1.
Last year, Alex Gordon led their team in RBIs with 74. Kendrys Morales just drove in his 74th run of the season already on August 5th.
Difference maker. Here's the 1-0. 1-1 on Mike Moustakas. Royals have picked up their 4th hit, and they've come, well, 2 of them have here in the 4th inning. A 2-out single by Hosmer and the triple by Morales. Down the right field line, first base side, and back out of play. 1-2 on Mike Moustakas, who made a concerted effort this offseason to try and hit the ball the other way. He batted .212 last year and realized that if he wanted to reach his potential with all the shifts that he was seeing last year, he needed to change his approach.
I'm surprised more left-handers don't change their approach like Moustakas did at the beginning of this season.
Well, here may be a reason why. And Moustakas said, you know, a lot of times you have to check your ego because you think you can beat the shift. You're not going to change the way you do business. But sometimes you just have to. And he swallowed his pride, as he said in the offseason, and he took the base hits the other way. And then his average skyrocketed up. It's fouled back out of play.
Something else that Moustakas has done to keep teams from shifting on him as much as they were at the beginning of the year. He has dropped down quite a few bunts for base hits down the third baseline. He did it against the Tigers earlier this season.
Yeah, that'll work too. Mike just came to the realization in the offseason that he'd rather hit fewer home runs and hit for a higher average. That is popped up third base side. Here comes Castellanos, and that'll end the inning. But the Royals tie it up on the triple by Kendrys Morales.
Game between the Tigers and the Oakland A's. Ben Zobrist, who is now a Kansas City Royal. Well, back then he was a hero for Oakland. Seventh inning grand slam, and that ball landed over here into the right field seats, but not just anywhere. It landed into the glove of a young Tigers fan, an 8-year-old named James Schlipp. Well, James was invited back to the ballpark, and of course he threw out the ceremonial first pitch today. So an exciting moment for him. He's been a lifelong Tigers fan, J.D. Martinez fan, and certainly now a Ben Zobrist fan as well. So he's back out here in the same seats out here in right field again. So taking it all in here, guys.
And a pretty good arm, wouldn't you say, Ron?
Absolutely. But did you see the look on his face when he was able to shake Ben Zobrist's hand?
Really cool. Of course, the look on his face when he caught the grand slam was priceless as well.
For sure.
He was devastated that his hometown team had given up the grand slam, and it turned out to be a great story. And a J.D. Martinez fan.
Having a blast out there.
Cueto back to work. He is facing Ian Kinsler as we play in the bottom of the fourth inning. 1-1 ball game. Kinsler, Martinez, and Martinez. Chopper foul, third base side. 1-2 now on Ian, who bounced out his first time up. He came into this ball game fourth in the American League, fourth in hits at 124, and a good portion of that damage coming the last month. Now Cueto with the 1-2. High fly ball down the left field line. Coming foul and back into the seats.
Zobrist also gave James a bat that said maybe the hardest home run I've ever hit, and you caught it. Nice catch. So James threw out the first pitch. He also got a ball and bat signed by Ben Zobrist.
Here's the 1-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Just so happens that Zobrist, of course, was traded to Kansas City. They're in town here tonight, and they got to meet before the first pitch tonight. What a great baseball memory.
Yes, indeed. Special moments.
Kinsler slices one to right field. Base hit, maybe more. That'll split the gap and go all the way to the wall. This has triple written all over it. Kinsler is on his way to third. He is in there with a three-bagger. We've had 3 triples in the last 2 innings.
It's a real nice approach by Ian Kinsler, and it's pretty much the approach he's had since the 25th of June when he really started taking off with the batting average. It's a ball that's up in the strike zone. He doesn't try to do too much. He allows the ball to get deep in the strike zone and simply hammers it the opposite way into the right center field gap in between Rios and Lorenzo Cain.
Five triples this year now for Kinsler. And now here's Victor Martinez, an RBI chance. Bouncing ball right side. Let's look at the run in. Kinsler scores. Tigers back on top. RBI 38 for Martinez. So Boyd again has a 1-run lead. Here's J.D. Martinez. Two runs on, 3 hits out for the Tigers. A run on 4 hits for KC. Bouncer back up the middle. Escobar to his left. And J.D. is out by a step. 2 gone. Now Castellanos. Soft line drive to the shortstop. His first time up 0 for 1. He got himself a pretty good night last night. 3 hits, including a triple, and was his 5th triple of the year. Oh, 1. Nick's first major league hit came against the Royals a couple of years ago after his September call-up. It was in KC.
Infield single, wasn't it?
Infield single, correct.
My first major league hit was an infield single, too. As a matter of fact, they were joking with me on the bench, and I believe it was Gaylord Perry. They were checking the ball for blood. And they were.
It didn't matter to you, though, did it?
It didn't matter.
A knock is a knock.
You know, back in those days, you was reading the newspaper, so it looked like a line drive in the box score the next day for sure. That was before iPads and all the rest of that stuff.
Here's the 1-1. It's high, 2-1.
I used to enjoy reading the sports page every morning, getting up, poring over the scores and different things like that. Now, I would always look forward to Sundays because you could see all your buddies were doing in the minor leagues on Sundays.
Oh, that was the best. Check the count. It should be 1-2, and now it's strike 3. So Castellanos caught looking, and that is it for the Tigers. They go ahead, though, on the triple and the ground out. It's now 2-1 Detroit. Bernstein Law Firm, official legal services sponsor of Fox Sports Detroit. Bell Tire, get the lowest tire price, period. Bell Tire. By Myers, save big with M-Perks from Myers. Sign up at mperks.com. And by Chevrolet, find new roads. Great night for baseball here in the Motor City. And right now the Tigers enjoying a 2-1 advantage. As we go to the top of the 5th inning, Ian Kinsler with a 3-bagger, and he is scored on the ground out by Victor Martinez. Boyd goes back to work, and he brings home the first one that is popped up foul back out of play. Salvador Perez leading it off for the Royals. He's followed by Rios and then Infante. Bottom 3 for KC. Their bottom 3 last night had 7 hits combined.
Yeah, most of the damage was done by Salvador, who drove in 3. Boyd really has not been all that good with his first pitch strike so far tonight. He's only 6 of 16, but it really hasn't come back to haunt him yet.
Meanwhile, the Tigers got him a run in the 3rd, a run in the 4th. Boyd, 24 years old. So we saw Daniel Norris make his Tigers debut Sunday in Baltimore, and Boyd gets the call here tonight. As the Tigers continue to look at some of the pieces they received and the trades they made at the deadline. Sliced out of play, 1-2. Boyd, as a kid, was also a really good hockey player. Played about 12 years of hockey as a youth.
That means he's a tough kid.
He is tough indeed. Left that one up, and it's popped up into shallow left field. Collins and now Iglesias. 1 out. The Royals, meanwhile, continue to hit the ball in the air. It's going to bring up Rios. A couple of the Royals were struggling coming into last night's series opener. Rios was one of them. He was 1 for 21 coming into last night's game, but he rebounded with a 2 for 4 game last night. Missed about 7 weeks after he was hit on the wrist in April. Strike called on the outer edge, 1-1.
He's thrown some real good changeups that have been buried down and away from the right-handed batters. Boyd was doing a very nice job against right-handed bats in the minor leagues this year. And left-handed bats for that matter.
Omar Infante waiting on deck. Here's the 1-2. Ground ball left side. Castellanos down to a knee. Can't hold on to it, and the runner is safe at first.
And we told you what Boyd featured at the beginning of the game, but now we're going to show you exactly what he features. He's got an above-average changeup. We told you that. That's his best pitch. He's gotten a swing and miss. He's gotten some uncomfortable swings on the changeup as well. Then when he gets you looking at the bottom of the strike zone, he'll climb the ladder with a low 90s fastball, and hasn't thrown many curveballs, but the one he did throw ended up being a pretty good pitch.
Here's Infante. They've ruled that ground ball from Rios a base hit. Tying run is on again for KC in the 2-1 ball game. The 5th hit of the game for Kansas City. Infante fly to center in his first at bat. Oh, 0-1. Another toss back. Rios back in, standing up. Rios is a guy that used to steal a lot of bases earlier in his career. Not so much or as much lately. He's got 251 career steals. He'll still go on you, though. Drawn another throw, and he threw it away. Rios will advance to second and maybe more. He's going to take the turn, and there he goes to third. And he's in there standing up on a throwing error by Boyd. First error of the game.
And more than likely, Rios was not going anywhere, especially against Boyd, because they really have not been able to figure out his move yet. And Marte still learning how to play first base, able to reach behind Alex Rios, but not able to catch the baseball. And the speed of Rios allowed him to get over to third base. And now the Tigers are forced into playing the infield in.
Tying run at third with one out. 0-1 the count on Infante.
That's a mistake you really do not need to make, because he had his double play set in order, and there was no way that Rios was going to go, because Boyd does have a decent move.
Ball low, 1-1 the count. Infante's numbers are down this year all the way around. And last year he knocked in 66 runs. He's only on pace for 45 RBIs this season. But he's batting here with a bit of an advantage. The drawn in infield. Popped up, back out of play. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Infante. Omar doubled against Verlander in the ball game last night. It was his 21st double of the year. A lot of folks were up in arms because Infante for quite a while was leading the voting among American League second basemen for the All-Star game this year. And his average was in the 220s. Right back up the middle. It's knocked down momentarily, and Infante is out. The runner holds. 2 gone. Boyd slowed it down.
Yeah, because he slowed it down, that allowed Ian Kinsler to come in and make a barehanded play. Dangerous play by Ian Kinsler. He had time to field that ball with his glove, but he elected to use the bare hand, but he was still able to get the out of Infante.
So with 2 outs, here is Escobar.
And be careful on your first pitch fastballs to Escobar, especially with the runners in scoring position. And Boyd starting to get a pretty good feel for that curveball now.
Ooh, he showed bunt. They want the appeal on whether or not he offered, and Mike Winter said he didn't.
Pretty close pitch. It's not necessarily where McCann catches it, but where it crosses the knees of the hitter, Escobar.
Ooh, ripped foul down the third base line. 1-1.
Probably pretty difficult to get that call from the home plate umpire tonight, Marty Foster, with all the moving parts there. You've got Escobar bunting. He's in front of home plate. You got McCann standing up reaching for the ball. So Marty Foster, the umpire, probably did not get a real good look at that first curveball.
Rios to third with 2 outs. Two and one on Alcides Escobar. He's hit the ball in the air twice in this game to the center fielder Ghost. Escobar has been a workhorse for Kansas City. He has not played in fewer than 155 games in each of the last 4 years. In fact, last year he played in every game. A very demanding position. The 2-1. 3-1 now on Escobar.
I believe he became the first shortstop to play in every single game since Rollins did it for the Philadelphia Phillies back in 2007.
It had been quite a while. But when you can get a guy that can go out there and play that many games at that position, a premium defensive position,
and play well.
And not only that, but his offense was good last year. There's the 3-1 swing and a miss. 3-2.
He was a starting shortstop this year, wasn't he? All-Star game.
He was. And Escobar, when you go back to the days of Angel Barroa, who won the Rookie of the Year back in 2003, the Royals thought at that time they had their shortstop for many years to come, but he had his struggles defensively.
He fizzled out quick, didn't he?
Yeah, he really did. Rookie of the Year, just a few more years in the big leagues. Here's the 3-2. Fouled away. Escobar and Kane both came over in the Zach Greinke deal.
This next pitch will tell you just how much confidence Boyd has in his changeup today. Whether he decides to throw that pitch on the 3-2 offering to Escobar, or whether he sticks with his fastball. They're going fastball inside.
In the air toward right field, JD Martinez is on the run. He'll get there for the out to retire the side. Royals threaten to now score. They get a man at third base. We will go to the bottom of the 5th inning. Boyd gets a big out. Tigers baseball tonight presented by Bell Tire. Man, he's been pretty hot, hasn't he?
He's having a wonderful year.
It's over to 5 straight games for the 2nd time this year. What about the Mets? They won their 5th straight game last night against the Marlins, and man, the Mets are really making it interesting for the Nationals.
That starting rotation that the Mets has is one of the best in all of baseball, if not the best.
Another triple play for the single A affiliate of the Royals, Wilmington, their 3rd triple play of the year last night.
How about Wilmington making our news and notes?
Yeah. That's a first, isn't it?
I think so.
Quick, what is the nickname for Wilmington?
I have no idea.
I don't either. That ball is drilled high in the air and deep into right field. Rios going back, track, wall, leaps and makes the catch.
That may be one of the deepest parts of right center field, right there at the right center field where the scoreboard kind of jets out, but a nice play by Rios nonetheless.
The Wilmington Blue Rocks.
The Blue Rocks.
Pretty good play here by Rios. And if you're Collins, you got to be thinking, I torched that thing.
Yeah, wrong part of the ballpark. Get back in the weight room, son.
Yeah, right. Just a little bit short.
Ran by Infante and told him that's all I got.
Oh, and 1 on Marte. Sacrifice back in the third. Bangs that one off his foot. And it's 0-2. So the Tigers have gotten a couple here against Cueto. RBI triple by Gose in the third. RBI ground out by Victor Martinez. Cueto at 50 now. Johnny has had a couple top 5 finishes for the Cy Young voting, including last year. He finished second to Clayton Kershaw over in the National League. A little high and away. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Marte. Jeffrey had a career high 3 hits on Friday in that game against the Orioles in Baltimore. It'll bounce in 2-2. Tigers seeing some pretty good pitching in this series. They saw Duffy last night. They've got Cueto tonight, Ventura tomorrow. Although Ventura not having the season that they were hoping he would have. Still got a great arm. And he missed again. Count goes 3-2.
That was a cutter at 87 miles an hour that looked like a strike. And Cueto was sure it was a strike, but didn't get the call from Marty Foster.
Just off the bottom edge there. Fouled away.
There were some question marks regarding Johnny Cueto this year. He missed the start earlier in the year with some discomfort in his elbow, and then really just a few starts ago he had to leave a game early, so there was a lot of teams that were scared off by that, but he pitched an outstanding game right before he was traded to Kansas City, and apparently he's fine.
The Royals gave up 3 pitchers in that deal. A couple of minor leaguers, John Lamb and Cody Reed, but the big name there was Brandon Finnegan, who a lot of folks liked.
He was in the big leagues last year, drafted the same year, wasn't he?
He was. Had a really nice season, but he went the other way, and now a member of the Cincinnati Reds. And he lost in ball 4, so Marte falls behind, ends up with a walk. 8 pitch at bat there. Trade was made on July the 26th. So here's McCann, 1 on and 1 out. We're in the 5th inning, 2-1 Detroit. It was the first base on balls for either starter here this evening. McCann lined out to the second baseman his first time up, and he looks at strike 1.
And there was a runner on third base, less than 2 outs when McCann lined out to Infante.
Rolled foul, 0-2.
That's one thing about a veteran pitcher. You know, when that catcher calls for that good fastball inside, guys like Cueto, they don't miss. They're able to get that ball inside. That ball was barreling in on the youngster McCann and had a lot of movement on it.
Reyes wants the fastball in. And he missed with it inside. 1 ball, 2 strikes. On deck is Anthony Gose, top of the lineup. 2 runs, 3 hits for the Tigers. 1 run, 5 hits for KC. Bouncing ball right by the first baseman Hosmer into right field. Marte will hold at second base, and the Tigers have something going now. 2 on, 1 out.
It's a nice job here by McCann after getting back-to-back pitches inside. He got a ball away from him, and Hosmer was holding on Marte, the base runner. And Hosmer, even though he's a great defender, not able to make a play on that base hit off the bat of McCann.
Gose had a big hit in his last at bat, an RBI triple that came with 2 outs in the third.
Lorenzo Cain in center field was playing very shallow. He is backed up a little bit this at bat, and with Gose in the batter's box.
Strike 1 on Gose. Anthony came in tonight batting 140 since the All-Star break. He's got a couple of guys on here with 1 out. Now it's 0-2.
And now if you're Gose, you have to guard against the fastball that's going to be up in the strike zone. One of the next couple of pitches will be a fastball up.
Here's the 0-2. Swing and a miss. He dusted Gose, and there are 2 gone. Hey, by the way, Fiesta Tigres is this Saturday. The Tigers battle the Boston Red Sox at 7:08. Enjoy live music, pregame ceremony honoring former Tiger Placido Polanco. Call 866-66-TIGER or visit tigers.com.
Polanco was a real good Tiger. He played in the shadows of guys like Perez and Ordonez and Guillen and Verlander, but man, he was the glue in that infield for a few years.
You could stick him into that 2 spot in the lineup and just let him go.
A good RBI guy, hit behind the runners well. He played an outstanding second base. I mean, he went nearly 2 years without making an error at one point in time.
I remember that. Good player.
Good player. They probably should have signed him when he left as a free agent the first time.
2-0 the count on Jose Iglesias. Good job tonight by Matt Boyd. His first start as a Tigers, giving up just 1 run that came back in the 4th. In there is strike call, 2-1. Iglesias not so crazy about that call from Marty Foster.
You can see why.
Oh my goodness.
That's a bad call. It's a terrible pitch.
Bouncing ball back up the middle. Escobar has it. Will flip to second for the force. Inning is over. Tigers threaten. Do not score. 5 in the books at Comerica. Donaldson's homered tonight. These Toronto Blue Jays, man, they just are not afraid to score runs. The Tigers, meanwhile, lead it 2-1 as we go to the top of the 6th inning here at the ballpark, and Matt Boyd going back to the hill.
Real nice game plan so far between McCann and also Boyd. Lots of fastballs upstairs. There's been a lot of flyouts off the bats of Kansas City Royals hitters so far here tonight. And when he's not giving you that fastball upstairs, he's got good fading action on his changeup to a lot of these right-handers. Nice game plan so far, drawn up by Jeff Jones, the pitching coach.
Zobrist, Kane, and Hosmer, 2, 3, and 4 in the KC lineup as we head to the 6th. And the first one is in for a strike called on Ben Zobrist. Singled, was caught trying to steal back in the first inning. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Swing and a miss. Edwin Encarnacion has also just hit a 3-run homer for Toronto.
I like Toronto's team a lot. They've got a potent offense. There's no doubt about that. But most of their guys are right-handed. And if they run into a hot Cueto, a hot Ventura, a hot Volquez, there's some teams out there that can slow them down.
Missed it high. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
They did add Ben Revere, though, so that gives them another option of being able to steal a base or, sacrifice or play that small ball if they need to do so.
Well, they certainly added to their bullpen with Hawkins and Lowe and, of course, David Price. Zobrist leading the strike zone. 1 out here in the 6th. The second strikeout for Boyd. Here's what it looks like in the East. Toronto now not only is leading the wild card, but they're making a charge to the Yankees.
They feel like they could catch the Yankees. They've got 13 more games against New York.
Baltimore's still in the hunt. We saw them over the weekend in Baltimore.
You think they got enough to get in?
No. Well, to get in, maybe.
That kid Gosman's legit, though, isn't
he? He is.
Huh?
He is really legit. We saw him in the playoffs last year.
He was a difference maker for them in the playoffs.
0-1. I think they have a shot at the wild card. I don't know that they have enough to win that division. Got some nice offensive pieces. Machado is nice. Davis. Jones. Here's the 0-1. 0-2 now on Lorenzo Cain. Tigers have held him to an 0-for-7 so far in the series. Now the 0-2. Tigers this year have gotten some starts from some young pitchers, some rookie starters. Lobstein made 8 starts before he went on the DL. Kyle Ryan, Buck Farmer. We saw Norris on Sunday. Now Boyd here today. A little bit high. 2-2 on Cain.
Well, with the new general manager in place now, that would be Al Avila, who took over yesterday after David Dabrowski was relieved of his duties. It's going to be a huge audition for a lot of these guys.
In the air to center field, hit pretty good, but a lot of room out there for Ghosts. 2 outs.
Here's our Bell Tire pitch by pitch. We told you that Boyd is very deceptive. Fastball tops out at 94 miles an hour, but the Kansas City Royals hitters have been late on the fastball all night long. He has continued to climb the ladder with good fastballs to the righties and to the lefties, and they really just have not been able to barrel him up.
12 fly ball outs in this game. Hosmer looks at a strike.
That is a really good pitch to start Hosmer off with, a good breaking ball, because he is absolutely lethal on fastballs.
He'll pull that one to right field, base hit.
Guy's on fire, man.
2 more hits tonight for Hosmer.
Hosmer came into play today in his last 22 games, batting .443. And with 2 more knocks tonight, the batting average has crept up a little bit more.
Pretty good since the All-Star break. .431. Only Joey Votto has been better in the big leagues.
I was asking a few people around here that travel with the Kansas City Royals party, and I was saying, who's your best player on your team? And both guys told me Eric Hosmer was their best all-around player. Yep.
More so than Kane?
Yep.
Strike called on Kendrys Morales. Well, Hosmer gives you a Gold Glove at first base, a guy that can hit for power, and he's hit for average.
Kane's going to win a Gold Glove this year. Adam Jones has had a stranglehold on the Gold Glove the last 3, but I believe Kane will win it this season.
0-2. Lorenzo having a really good year, but this series has not gone his way. He's 0 for 8. It was Morales that knocked in a run with a 2-out triple back in the 4th, the only KC run so far, and that was after a 2-out single by Hosmer. One and 2. 74 RBIs for Morales. But so many of them have come with 2 outs. It'll pop up back a short, and it's a diving try by Collins. He can't get it. Hosmer goes to third. A bloop single for Kendrys Morales. First and third now for the Royals.
It's another fastball up in the strike zone that McCann calls for, and Boyd is able to execute it. But Kendrys Morales is just so strong, and he hit that ball right off the label. Didn't hit it on the fat part of the bat, and was able to muscle it into shallow left field for a single. Great effort by Collins.
So here's Moustakas, who in this ball game is 1 for 2, had a double in his first at bat. Tying run at third base, go ahead run at first base. Royals now have 7 hits. McCann letting the infield know that Marte playing behind the runner at first base. Ball 1. Marte will get an extra step or so, playing behind the runner at first, cutting down that angle a bit with the left-handed batter up there, although Moustakas, as we have documented many times, has gone the other way quite a bit this year.
Yeah, he's not as pull happy as he has been in the past.
That one froze him for a strike. 1-1. Foul tip, and now 1-2.
Here's our Xfinity high-speed pitch on Boyd. He has touched 94. That was back in the first inning.
So Boyd trying to work his way out of a jam here in the 6th with 2 outs. Back-to-back hits by Hosmer and Morales. Gene Lamont getting on the telephone, getting the bullpen hot. Here's the 1-2. High fly ball center field. Should get him out of the jam. It's going to be yet another fly ball out for Boyd. And the Royals strand 2. We go to the bottom of the 6th.
come off the field, they talk a little bit about the previous inning. And so far, so good. It's good to communicate, and apparently these guys have communicated very well this evening. First time that McCann has ever caught Boyd.
Well, so far so good on the two outings that the Tigers have seen from a couple of pieces they picked up at the trade deadline. Norris on Sunday, and now Boyd here tonight. Very encouraging. Cueto going back to the hill as we go now to the bottom of the sixth.
And Tigers also have a pitching coach in Jeff Jones that works very well with young talent. And that's exactly what Boyd is, and also Norris.
Ian Kinsler will start things off, and he'll take ball one inside.
Cueto's got a lot of arm side run to that fastball, anywhere from 90 to 91. As a hitter, it looks like he's right down the middle and just tails in on your hands.
Three-base hit to start things off in the fourth for Kinsler. He eventually scored what has turned out to be the go-ahead run to this point. Cueto is 1-1. He went around.
He didn't necessarily go too far with the bat, but the body went way too far, and he couldn't sell it.
Victor Martinez on deck. A little bit more of a hesitation on that rock home from Cueto. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
He calls that his rocking chair delivery.
That is popped up foul. And this one heading back to the seats. There is activity in the Detroit bullpen. Bruce Rondon warming up. Cueto right now trying to go through the 3, 4, and 5 hitters. Teammates have not supported him much tonight. They have 7 hits, but only 1 run. One more here against the Royals tomorrow, and then Boston will come a-calling. The 2-2 is fouled back.
The last time that the Tigers saw the Kansas City Royals, the Royals won the series. And if they win one more game, then obviously they win the series here at Comerica Park, and that would give them back-to-back series wins for the very first time since 2003. That's just how much the Tigers have been able to dominate the Royals the last decade.
Pulled right to the third baseman. 1 out.
We were talking about the fact that McCann is catching Boyd for the very first time. Well, these two, they're not on the same page yet either. That would be Cueto and also Perez. He shook Perez off 3 times before the triple to Ian Kinsler, and they talked about it in the dugout after the half inning. So it takes a while before the catchers and the pitchers, especially when they're new teammates, and they learn one another.
In there for a strike, 0-1. That's a really good point, because you never really think about that. I mean, these guys haven't had spring training to work together the first couple of months of the season. It's still brand new.
Yep, and you just don't quite know exactly what pitches the guys like to go to in high leverage situations.
Oh, 2 on Victor. Knocked in a run with a ground out. Ball high, 1-2. Cueto in the month of July was 3-1 with an ERA just a shade over 2. The trade was made to the Royals. That's ripped foul. Ooh, man, he got a hold of that one, but out in front. Haven't seen Victor turn on a ball like that recently. Put outside. Salvador Perez is a hulking figure behind the plate defensively for the Kansas City Royals. One of the bigger catchers that you'll see in the American League. We saw one in Baltimore as well. Matt Wieters, a big kid. The 2-2. Bounce again, 3 balls, 2 strikes. So Cueto has gone full now on Martinez. JD waiting on deck.
You bring up a great point because most of your great catchers over the years, whether it be Yogi Berra, Pudge Rodriguez, Johnny Bench, and Thurman Munson, those guys are all about 5'10".
It's a foul ball.
So it's very unusual for guys to be 6'3", 6'5", like Matt Wieters. Joe Mauer also is a huge catcher.
And when Mauer first got to the big leagues, that topic came up because at times it can be difficult for a big catcher to stay low and give the home plate umpire a good view of the strike zone.
That's one of the reasons why years back, a guy that just went into the Hall of Fame, Craig Biggio, started out as a catcher, but he was only about 5'10" and very athletic, so they moved him to second base. And then he played center field.
Three and 2, the count on Victor Martinez. Bouncing ball right to the shortstop Escobar, who had him played exactly where he needed to be. 2 gone. Hey, the Tigers will host Team Mickey All-Star Baseball Tour this Sunday when the Tigers face the Red Sox at 1:08 p.m. Special ticket packages include a limited edition Tigers branded Mickey Mouse hat. Availability is exclusively at tigers.com/Team Mickey.
Mickey's made it all the way out to the Motor City.
That's right, man.
I thought maybe he would have traveled with the Angels when they came to town.
JD Martinez, a batter. Here's the 1-0. 1 ball, 1 strike. It's funny, when we lived out in L.A., when I was doing games for the Angels, we went to Disney World a lot because the team was owned by Disney at that time. It got so much that we tell the kids, we're going to Disneyland. Oh, do we have to?
You try taking the family of 4 to Disneyland now, though.
No doubt. Meanwhile, Perez trying to shake something off here. He may have taken a foul tip.
It's a nice veteran move by Moustakas, even though he hasn't been here very long. That ball right off the thumb of Perez, and Moustakas noticed that and went over to pretend like he was having a conversation with the pitcher, Johnny Cueto, to give Perez enough time to recover.
1-2 the count on JD Martinez, who is no stranger to foul tips. Only for JD off his left leg. He took one off the knee in Baltimore, and then the other night one off the shin, and his left leg is just all black and blue and purple.
He showed it to you today, didn't he?
He did, from the elbow to the knee. But he's out there. 2-2 the count. Like JD, I just wanted to know how you're feeling. I really didn't want to see it because it looked pretty ugly. Here's the 2-2. Shattered bat and over the head of the shortstop Escobar. Broken bat single for JD Martinez.
That bat got to the stands in a hurry, but it looks like everybody down there is all right because they were all paying attention.
Hey, baseball's playoff race is starting to get into high gear. Saturday, got a doubleheader starting with the Dodgers taking on the Pirates. Then at 7 p.m. Eastern, the National League Central leading Cardinals battle the Brewers in a game you can see only on Fox Sports 1. Coverage begins at 3:30 Eastern, only on Fox Sports 1 and streaming live on Fox Sports Go.
Anytime a hitter breaks the bat and the bat ends up in the stands, there's always a lot of concern, and you can see that concern on JD's face.
Do you think, and I know baseball's considering this, where they're going to extend the screen behind the plate all the way down the first and third base line?
I just don't know. it wouldn't be a bad thing to do so, but the fans just kind of love the view where they're at, and they don't want the screen in front of them. But the flip side of that is you've got to pay attention when you sit in those seats that are directly behind both teams' dugouts.
But here's my question. If you're sitting behind the plate, does the screen really bother you all that much?
It doesn't bother me that much, but some fans that pay a lot of money for certain seats, they might just want the view without the screen. I guess that's one of the reasons why they haven't done it yet.
2 balls, no strikes on Castellanos. High 3-0.
We sat down in the first row a couple of years ago and did a broadcast down there, and we had no problem seeing whatsoever.
Nope, no issue at all. But obviously the safety of the fans. I mean, even when you pay attention, sometimes those foul balls come at you at a high rate of speed.
I played the game of baseball, and my reflex, and they're still pretty good. I sit behind the screen when I go to a game and watch. I do not like sitting where I can get hit.
I do not blame you. Cueto's 3-1. And then he lost in ball 4. 2-out rally here for the Tigers. Will be the second walk for Cueto in as many innings. Johnny now gaining on 100 pitches. He's at 94. Collins crushed a ball in his last at bat. The problem is he hit it to right center, and Rios caught it at the wall in Triples Alley out there in right center.
Strikeouts ratio for Cueto is simply outstanding. Came in with 127 strikeouts and both stops and only 31 base on balls. So the game plan today given to the Tigers by Wally Joyner was to try to get him early and often if you can. That's why you see so many Tigers and swinging at the very first pitch here tonight. There's Wally. He hung out in LA for a while. I'm sure he went to Disneyland quite a bit.
Oh, I'm sure he did. Ball was thrown behind second base. Of course, they had Wally World out in Anaheim for him.
They sure did.
At the Big A. He had his own world.
He played well enough to get that world, too. He took the baseball world by storm when he came up as a rookie.
Oh, 0-2 on Collins. Cueto trying to work his way through a 6th inning jam here. The Tigers on top 2-1. Cueto's first start as a Royal was a quality start. Gave up 3 runs in 6 innings. Drilled to right field on a line, but it's going to be caught by Rios. Another hard hit ball by Collins and nothing to show for it. We go to the 7th.
took the lead against Johnny Cueto in the third inning. It was a triple over the head of Lorenzo Cain by Ghost. It played it 1 run. The Kansas City Royals came right back in the top half of the fourth inning. A triple by Kendrys Morales. He drove in his 74th run of the year. And then Victor Martinez, with a runner on third, less than 2 outs, ground ball to first base to drive in the second run of the evening for Detroit.
Pretty good night tonight for Matt Boyd. 6 innings, 1 run, no walks. That's good. Johnny Cueto, 6 innings, 2 runs. Anthony Ghost, big RBI triple in this game.
Well, everything that we heard about Matt Boyd, he has delivered here tonight. We heard that he was deceptive. We heard they wouldn't barrel up his fastball very often. We heard he had a good changeup. He's shown us all of that here tonight.
Wave and a miss. There's Salvador Perez.
Yep, there's that change piece.
Boyd gave up 2 singles with 2 outs in the 6th. Had him at first and third, but he got a fly ball to get out of the inning. Perez leading the strike zone there, and it's 0-2.
And Kansas City having a difficult time of laying off that elevated fastball, just as the Tigers had a difficult time of laying off that fastball last night against Kansas City's starter Danny Duffy.
Perez tonight is 0 for 2. Drilled to left field. And it's caught by Collins. 1 out. Amazing how many balls have been hit in the air in this game, and Boyd getting a ton of fly ball outs as they just continue. Rio stands in. Rios a single and a pop-up.
Only a couple of strikeouts by Boyd in the game, but he hasn't walked anybody. Whoa, 14 flyouts now.
Almost had number 15. 1 ball, 1 strike. Rios a good example of an August deal that can be tricky when players are put on waivers. He was claimed by the Chicago White Sox a couple of years ago, basically to block him from going to any other team. And the Blue Jays said, okay, you claim him, you can take him. And they had to take his entire contract, which was sizable.
Yeah, it doesn't happen very often. But J.P. Ricciardi was the general manager at that time in Toronto, and they basically gave him to Chicago. So you're absolutely right. Chicago did not want that money.
But they didn't want him to go elsewhere, so they claimed him. They did not think they would have to assume the contract. They thought that the Blue Jays would just pull him back, but the Blue Jays said, nope, he's all yours. Waiting on deck, Omar Infante. 2-1. Tigers have the lead here in a tight ball game. 7th inning, game 2 in the series. High pop up, shallow right field. Kinsler back to the grass. 2 gone. He followed the Tigers all season in 2015 with MLB.com at Bat, the #1 app for live baseball. At Bat is up to the moment, at any moment, with in-game highlights, live look-ins, replay reviews, radio broadcast, and more. Get MLB.com at Bat on your smartphone or tablet. Here is Omar Infante with 2 outs. Swing and a miss.
A lot of off-speed pitches called in this inning by McCann. And Boyd has been able to execute every last one of them, whether it be the changeup or that really good breaking ball that he just threw to Infante. Not making many mistakes with the off-speed stuff.
One ball, 1 strike. Boyd threw 103 pitches in his first start this year against Texas. Only 28 in his last start. He did not survive the first inning in a start against the Boston Red Sox. That was back in early July. But boy, has he spun a masterful effort tonight. Escobar waiting on deck. Rolled foul. 1-2. The count stays on Infante. He's 0 for 2.
Boyd has thrown 103 pitches, and 68% of those have been fastballs. The other 32%, whether it be the curveball, the changeup, or his slider, which he has used frequently, they make up the other 32%.
Infante would not chase the off-speed pitch, and the count levels now 2-2. McCann wants the fastball in. Here it comes. Fouled away. Ground ball to short. Iglesias has it there, and Infante is out. 1-2-3 inning for Matt Boyd. What a job tonight in his Tigers debut. Coming up, the Consumers Energy 7th inning stretch.
He's done 2. That's a very nice job. No base on balls, only 2 strikeouts. He pitched to the ballpark here today. He allowed McCann to lead him beautifully. Very few times did he shake him off. And a couple of really nice debuts by the youngsters, Norris and Boyd. A couple of pitchers they got at the price deal.
And Brad Ausmus greeted him with a handshake as he came back after his last half inning, signaling that he will be done after 106 in the pitch count category. Here is Jeffrey Marte to lead things off. Here it is still a 1-run game, as well as Boyd has pitched. Cueto has given up only 2, so it's still a tight contest. Marte, McCann, goes in the bottom of the 7th, and Cueto throws a strike.
If you're Matt Boyd, you knew you had very little margin for error tonight going up against one of the game's best right-handers in Cueto, and he was up for the challenge.
Chopper to third, foul. Boyd's first start as a Tiger after posting dominating numbers in the minor leagues. Marte sacrifice and a walk. It's heading toward the corner. Rios out of room. Cueto has reached 100 now. He has allowed just 5 hits in this game, 2 runs. The go-ahead run scored on an RBI ground out by Martinez in the 4th. Victor Martinez. One ball, 2 strikes on Marte. Just off the plate, 2 balls, 2 strikes.
What happened on this last foul ball?
Oh, it blew up a beverage.
It sure did. They got to give him another one, don't they?
Well, she came up with the baseball, but yeah, they're short of beer down there. That's deep behind the bag. Moustakas, long throw. Man, what a pick by Hosmer.
He is the real deal over at first base.
Tigers want to look at this.
It's a nice job here by Moustakas, backing up to get the best possible hop. Then he bounces it over to first base, and a tricky pick over there. But if you're on the left side of the infield, if you're Escobar or Moustakas, you know that if you just get it in the vicinity of the first baseman Hosmer, he's going to catch it.
That was not an easy pick. Man, was that close. No challenge, though. So Moustakas to Hosmer for the first out. Here's McCann. Single, line out, 1 for 2 for James McCann. It'll pop up, back a second, and Infante to the grass, 2 gone. Calling all Michigan State University alumni, students, and fans. Get a Tigers hand in MSU colors and a ticket to see the Tigers play the Rangers August 21st at 7:08 when you buy a special ticket package exclusively at tigers.com/special events.
You taking that night off?
I might, just to get my hat.
I heard you and Gibby in Baltimore stirring it up.
Yeah, we were.
Yeah, y'all stirred it up.
Wait a minute now. Gibby stirred it up.
Yeah, but you had to co-sign with him, though.
That is true. As much as I try to sidestep it, there's a bunt that goes foul.
He went all in, didn't he?
He did. Yep. The U of M fans probably weren't too happy. Ghost had an RBI triple earlier in this game. It was a big hit for Anthony because he has been struggling since the start of the second half. Cueto trying to get through 7 innings of his own. Little chopper, and it looks like he will. Ghost is out. 1, 2, 3 inning for Cueto. 7 in the books as we go to the 8th. 2-1. The park, Mario and Rod back here at the ballpark here this evening. We expected Cueto to pitch a really good ball game tonight. He has for the Royals. Not sure what we expected out of Matt Boyd, but boy, what we've gotten has been awfully good.
You know, the scouting reports that I got on Boyd, they were dead on perfect. They talked about a guy that had a fastball 92 to 94. He had some deception. He was sneaky fast. Royals were late on a lot of his fastballs today, therefore a lot of flyouts. He also threw some really good changeups.
Well, the Tigers' offense really scuffling again here tonight. They have been able to get a couple of runs in against a really tough pitcher.
He is tough. I mean, we've talked about Cueto at length here tonight, and the fact that he gives you a lot of different deliveries. He slows down his motion in the stretch. He also slows down in the windup, and because of that, he provides a huge problem for the Tigers' bats. Not only the Tigers' bats, but even the bats in the National League before he came to the junior circuit. He was dominating those hitters.
Well, side windows pitching change. Rondon has come in now for the Tigers. Also some defensive changes. Avila at first and Romine at third. It'll be the top of the lineup coming up. Alcides Escobar facing Bruce Rondon. And the first one is in there for a strike. A much different look the Royals will see here in the 8th from the starter Boyd.
And that first pitch thrown by Bruce Rondon, 100 miles an hour.
Slice to the right side, base hit. He took 100 the other way. And a single for Escobar.
That's why these guys are the best players in the world. Here's a fastball on the black outside at 100 miles an hour. And yet Escobar able to barrel it up and find a hole on the right side of the infield. That's why the slider and the changeup are must pitches for Rondon to continue to throw.
Lefty Blaine Hardy is warming up.
McCann needs to get ready to throw. Escobar is one of those guys that will steal a bag if you allow him to.
Ben Zobrist has a single flyout strikeout. Will miss outside with 98.
And Bruce Rondon just needs to make sure that he gives McCann plenty of time to throw. McCann has pop times this year that regularly a time under 2 seconds when he's throwing the ball down to second base. He's had pop times of 179, 188. He's had some of the best in the big leagues this year.
Swing and a miss.
Nice pitch. Change piece at 90 miles an hour. Awesome pitch by Bruce.
Oh, that a 90-mile-an-hour changeup.
With great arm speed. Didn't slow his arm speed down at all. And when the hitter sees fastball come out of the hand of a guy that throws 100 miles an hour, and they're going to be out in front of that changeup.
Drilled toward left field. That ball is slicing. Collins on the move. It's going to be a foul ball. Zobrist went the other way and almost snuck in a double. 1-2. Zobrist does have power. In fact, he homered for both sides of the plate on Saturday against Toronto.
He already has 3 homers with his new club, and he's only been with them for about a week. As a matter of fact, the Kansas City Royals fans haven't even seen Zobrist and Cueto yet.
Action in the Royals pen. Herrera, Davis.
We don't want to see either one of those dudes.
No,
we really don't.
Prefer not to.
We really don't.
Here's the 1-2. Again, slapped the other way as Zobrist stays alive.
So far, Bruce Rondon is doing a very nice job with the slide step and getting the ball to McCann, and that's making it difficult for a guy that loves to steal bases in Escobar, who's on first base, to get a good jump.
Kane waiting on deck.
And Rusty Kuntz, the first base coach, also watching Rondon very closely to see if he can give Escobar an edge.
Orioles have 8 hits. The Tigers have 5. Swing and a miss. Zobrist is taken care of. 1 gone.
Another really good breaking ball thrown here. This is the slider at 87. The slider backed up on it, but it was still very effective. And now one pitch gets you out of this little jam.
Kane is 0 for 3 and 0 for 8 in the series. Get away from McCann. He can't find it. He's right at his feet. Escobar thought about moving up, or trying to.
Initially, McCann didn't catch it cleanly, but it didn't take him very long to find it. McCann likes to throw down to first base. He might try to pick off Escobar, at least on one of these pitches.
Fouled away. Big rip there by Lorenzo Cain.
Cain has good speed, but he takes a big swing. Therefore, does not get out of the batter's box all that fast. And therefore, he will hit into some double plays.
Hosmer waiting on deck. Two to 1. Tigers have the lead. We're in the 8th.
Totally different Kansas City Royals team this year, Mario. They've only stolen 65 bags so far this year. They stole 153 last season. 153. And last year, Escobar would have been on the move by now. But they've got these big bats in the middle of their order in Cain and Hosmer and Morales.
Yeah, the 3-4-5 will certainly change your outlook on potentially running out of innings, and that's something the Tigers have dealt with the last 5-6 years with the middle of their lineup. You don't want to run into outs with the big bats coming up. Escobar led it off with a single. He's still standing there with 1 out. 1-1 on Lorenzo Cain. In the air to right field. And JD makes the play, and there are 2 gone.
Now this will be a heavyweight confrontation between Hosmer and Rondon.
2 more hits tonight for Hosmer.
Yeah, his last 23 games, Eric is hitting over 450.
Overall this year now the average at 320.
And you pretty much have to play him straight up because he's got power to all fields. And that's exactly the way the Tigers are defending him. Pretty much straight up.
Ball 1. Rondon here in the 8th after 7 really strong innings from Matt Boyd. In his Tigers debut, Tigers turning things over to the bullpen. In there for a strike. Off speed makes it 1-1.
Here's a changeup. It's a circle change. You can see the fading action away from Hosmer, the left-hander, at 89 miles an hour.
Outside, 2-1.
Let's see how much confidence Bruce Rondon has in that 100-mile-per-hour fastball.
Wilson now has joined Hardy in the bullpen. Hardy watching the action. Whistled back out of play, threw him the fastball.
Yeah, he did. He was late on it, too.
So it's 2-2 on Hosmer. McGann's going to go out now and talk to Rondon.
I think he just wants to find out exactly what Rondon is going to be comfortable throwing here on a crucial pitch. You want it to happen in this particular pitch, 2-2. You don't want to run the count to 3-2, which would allow Escobar to take off to get a running start from first base. You got to make it happen now. Everything's been away from Hosmer.
Swing and a miss to strike him out. Hosmer is out of there.
I see you, mighty Bruce.
Second strikeout of the inning for Bruce Rondon. He gets it done, and the Royals strand a man here in the eighth. Bottom of the eighth inning, Johnny Cueto getting some congratulations on a good effort tonight, but the Tigers got a couple of runs against them, and so far it's held up. They lead 2-1. The number is on Johnny Cueto. He'll give way to the bullpen now for the Royals. It's a Wellside Windows pitching change. Kelvin Herrera will come in.
He's a guy that has a fastball that gets up to 100 miles an hour as well. Kelvin also has a nice changeup and also a breaking ball. In 47 games, he has 40 strikeouts. He's walked 17, and the earned run average just a shade over 2 for their very talented seventh inning guy most of the time.
Well, he's going to pitch in the eighth inning in this one. Iglesias, Kinsler, and Victor Martinez to face him. Would be nice for the Tigers to get some insurance runs here. Iglesias is 0 for 3. He's put the ball on the ground 3 times. And the first one from Herrera at 97 is in there for a strike. Fly ball left field. On the move is Zobrist. 1 gone. Well, Tigers all-star shortstop Jose Iglesias will sign autographs at the D Shop this Saturday from 12 until 2 p.m. All signatures will be authenticated by Major League Baseball. For prices and additional info, visit tigers.com/appearances. Jose's over 4 tonight. That'll bring up Ian Kinsler. Triple for Kinsler earlier in the game against Cueto. He'll slice that one toward right field, toward foul ground. And it'll drop harmlessly outside of the white line.
Yeah, something that Hosmer couldn't get to.
Kinsler now at 296 for the year. He has had four hit games this season. That is the most among any Tiger. Herrera's 0-1. In the air toward left field. Zobrist down the run to the gap. 2 gone.
Hey, we told you they don't miss a whole lot with Zobrist in the outfield, even though technically Zobrist is a utility player who can play every single position. He is a terrific defender in left field and right field.
Here's Victor Martinez. RBI ground out in the 4th. The Royals, by the way, when we get to the 9th inning, will have Morales, Moustakas, and Perez. Strike 1 on Victor. So we've had a couple of guys here in the 8th inning that are throwing gasolina. Rondon and now Herrera.
It's not that cheap gas either. It's that high octane stuff.
It's pretty expensive. 1 ball, 1 strike. Herrera, part of the best bullpen in the American League, as Hardy and Wilson continue to throw. It'll bounce in 2-1. Kelvin last year had a 1.41 ERA. And when you look at the Royals bullpen numbers, this is why they've been considered the best.
It's really remarkable that they were able to do it last year, where they were the best bullpen and pretty much the same cast of characters, and getting it done again out of the bullpen for Ned Yost.
Slice to left field. Zobrist going back. He'll handle all 3 chances here in the 8th inning. 1, 2, 3. Go the Tigers. So we go to the 9th, protecting a 1-run lead.
Monroe coming up on a post-game edition of Tigers Live. The man of the hour right now, Matt Boyd. What a performance here in his debut for the Tigers. We're going to catch up with him and certainly talk to Brad Ausmus as well, because you couldn't ask for much more from Daniel Norris, and now Matt Boyd following up on the strong outing from Norris as well. So we'll get that, and of course we'll be working the clubhouse as well. A lot coming up here on a post-game edition of Tigers Live, but for now we'll send it back upstairs.
All right, Johnny, thanks. We've got 3 more outs to get as Kendrys Morales leads it off against the new pitcher, Blaine Hardy.
Yeah, Hardy pitched in his 49th game. He checks in with a .249 earned run average. Doesn't walk very many. He's punched out 38.
1 ball, 1 strike on Morales. A couple of lefties here. Morales and then Moustakas, although Morales will turn to the right side. Hardy will come in for these 2 guys.
And much more power for Morales batting left-handed, and that's exactly why Brad Ausmus has elected to bring in Hardy in this particular situation. The batting average a little higher when batting right-handed than left-handed, but much more power when batting left-handed.
Defensively, they shift to the left side of the infield. Here's the bouncer left side, right at Iglesias. Morales is out, 1 gone. Well, as promised earlier in the game, we have selected the Data Strong fan photo of the game. Tweet your strongest fan photo to hashtag Detroit Data Strong Fan for a chance to be featured in an upcoming broadcast brought to you by T-Mobile. Here's Mike Moustakas. Ball 1 high. Double for Moustakas with 2 outs in the second. They stranded him, though.
You'd have to believe that this is going to be the last batter that Hardy sees, with Salvador Perez standing in the on-deck circle, a powerful right-handed batter who has really good numbers against the Tigers since he's been in the big leagues.
Fouled off, 2-1. There is Wilson. More than likely will come on for Perez. Final game in the series happening tomorrow. And then Boston comes in over the weekend. Now it's 3-1 on Moustakas. Royals had 2 on, 2 outs in the 6th, couldn't score. Leadoff man on in the 8th, couldn't score. Rondon struck out a couple in the 8th inning, gives way to Hardy here in the 9th. Drill to right field, that'll move. J.D. Martinez can't get it. Oh, he did, he caught it. Martinez on the run with a backhanded play. Nice running effort for J.D., and that's the 2nd out on a hard hit ball by Moustakas.
J.D. Martinez has played an outstanding right field this year. He was off at the crack of the bat and made a splendid catch. The only way you catch this ball is you got to get a great jump, and he reaches out and he's able to catch it right in the webbing of the glove. And this will be our Chevrolet high-strength steel. J.D. Martinez robbing Moustakas of a double, possible triple.
I want to put the tying run in scoring position. Instead, Wilson will come on now. Pitching change here in the Motor City. We'll be back.
last year he was regularly getting taken out of games for a defensive replacement, but not this year. And J.D. Martinez has about 12 assists from right field, and he's made all the plays out there.
One more out to get. Salvador Perez will step in against the new right-hander Alex Wilson, who takes over.
And Wilson, one job to do here, and that's to make sure that he keeps the ball in the ballpark. 41st game for Wilson. 176, 1.76 ERA.
Perez is 0 for 3. Ball 1. Tigers tonight have been out hits 8-5, yet they lead 2-1. One ball, one strike. Wilson had a 5-out save in Baltimore.
The only reliever that has thrown more innings in the American League this year than Wilson is Dylan Betances of the New York Yankees.
There's a base hit to left field. A 2-out single by Perez keeps it going.
53 1/3 innings logged so far this year by Wilson. Betances, he's thrown 55 innings.
Now Gerard Dyson will come off out of the bench and head to first base.
And this should be interesting with Dyson coming on. It's a hanging breaking ball thrown by Wilson. He's very fortunate that ball stayed in the ballpark. Wilson did not get here until when? May?
I think it was late April. And that's how much he's pitched.
That's what I'm saying. He's only an inning and one inning behind Betances for the most innings thrown by a reliever in the American League.
April 22nd he arrived. So Dyson with 18 steals at first base. A ball up to Rios.
That fastball up in the strike zone was by design, not necessarily a pitch out, but that would have been a really good ball for McCann to throw if Dyson was on the move.
Tying run at first base. Dyson is 18 out of 20 this year. There he goes. McCann's throw bouncing in, not in time. A stolen base for Dyson. That'll put him in scoring position.
And Dyson's a bona fide thief. Once he takes that first step, he's running full speed, and he likes to utilize the head first slide. He likes to dive to the furthest part of the bag, which makes it very difficult to tag him out. Dyson also 7 of 7 in steals of third base this year, but he probably will not be running in this situation.
Rios drills it in the air to left field. Collins on the run, gets there for the final out, and the Tigers hold on to win.
Real nice win tonight for the ball club against a great pitcher, Johnny Cueto.
The Tigers beat Cueto by allowing just 1 run tonight. And Matt Boyd in his Tigers debut was outstanding. The bullpen did the rest. Final score tonight. Tigers a winner 2-1. We'll be back.